Melle Mel uses the Art of Dialogue platform to hate on Jay-Z, Kendrick, and Eminem. And I got something to say. What up, world? Your boy Challz Brown back again, talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hate season, guys. We just entered full-on hate season. And it's pretty sad to watch. We are watching hate season unfold right before our eyes. And the problem with it is no one asked for this. Now, right now, as we speak, shout out to the Art of Dialogue. I like what he's doing over there. He's creating conversation. He's giving us conversation. A lot of conversation. Some of the conversation we've heard before, some of it we have not. But it's a conversation nonetheless. Grandmaster Melle Mel has decided to choose violence. And, in my opinion, show extreme levels of hate. There's a lot of elder statesmen that are absolutely hating right now. And Melle Mel is possibly the number one of all the haters right now. You may say, well, what'd he say, Charles? What'd he do that's so bad? What's going on? Why you accusing one of our legends of such a heinous act as being a hater? Nobody wants to be labeled a hater. What is your evidence for calling this man a hater? Bitter. Right? A bitter hater. The simple fact of the matter is, Melle Mel is a legendary MC. He is credited as coining the phrase MC. Right? He is accredited as being one of the first conscious rappers when they dropped a message which changed the game. Like when I first heard the message, it changed my life. I'm of that age where I was able to hear the radio and hear the message on the radio when it first dropped. That's how old I am. And I was there when this thing dropped. It was like an explosion. People used to turn up their radios. They would shut things down just to hear every line of this 7-minute and 11-second song. And we give Melle Mel all the props in the world for being one of the artists on that song. I was on Twitter today, not Twitter. It was on YouTube. And actually on Twitter and a couple other people. And when I started speaking about Melle Mel, everyone was reminding me that Melle Mel is in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with his group, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, right? And kudos to them. Salute those brothers for getting in the Hall of Fame. And that was their reasoning for me being wrong that Melle Mel is hating. Because he has every right to hate because he's in this seminal group from the 70s. Right? So, the message was created in 1982, right? Mel had already did super rapping and things like that. And what I want to talk about right now is I feel like Mel is overstating his relevancy in this business by talking down on so many guys who have done it longer, better, and with much more success than he has. Now, I know you're going to be like, Charles, what are you talking about? This guy's one of the legendary MCs. He's the greatest Godfather, da-da-da-da. And I would have given him all that before. And I still do. But the simple fact of the matter is, if you're this legendary, Melle Mel is 61 years old, and he's online, whether you agree or not, saying, Lil Wayne, you don't even know what his voice sounds like because he uses too much autotune, so you can't really consider him one of the greatest rappers. You can't consider Kendrick one of the greatest rappers because he doesn't change things in the streets like Tupac did. He doesn't consider Jay-Z one of the greatest rappers because all he talks about is drugs and hustling or whatever else he said, and he didn't change the game like Tupac did once again. And Eminem wouldn't be where he is because he's white. And he doesn't care about none of the other rappers on the list because he knows he's the number one, the first rapper to be the greatest rapper of all these rappers, right? And all of that is fine in and of itself if you believe, but when you throw it all together and you start to look at the entire thing, it's no one's getting praised but Tupac by this man. Even goes on to say Biggie has slicker raps, but he was not better. Tupac is greater in every single way. And all Biggie did was, none of his stuff had substance. All of this is right there on Art of Dialogue and a couple other interviews. You can go look it up for yourself. All of that is conjecture. All of that is simple opinion. And he states it all as if it's facts. And I understand that because I do a show called Talking Facts, which is this show right here. And I use a lot of my opinion, right? But the simple fact of the matter is we can't rate everybody by what Tupac did. Tupac was a flawed man just like everybody else on this list. And I'm going to play a little bit of this Kendrick video clip because it's so ridiculous. When I listen to it, I'm like, this guy literally doesn't know what he's talking about. And the reason that I started off to tell you about the message right before I play this Kendrick thing is because he's on these interviews because of what he did in the 70s and 80s. But to be so vocal about what you did, what they did, I wanted to know what he actually did. Right? Melle Mel. Right? Is so vocal. Everybody's this and that, and he's the Dun Dada MC. When I go to find out about the message, more about the message, I find out that Melle Mel only wrote one verse on the entire song. The entire song, from beginning to end, was created by Duke Booty, right? Who did all of the music. He wrote every single rap. No one in that group wanted to be on that song. None of them have a verse on the song. He wrote all of the song. They all turned down the song, walked out of the room. Melle Mel came back, said, I kind of dig it. And he wrote the last verse on the album that you hear. Melle Mel wrote that verse, right? But he already had that verse for another song called Super Rapping. So that verse was already on another song. So this song was completely created by Duke Booty, and Melle Mel took his old verse and threw it at the end of the song. When you see the video, they're lip syncing to Duke Booty voice on the record. None of them are rapping. And lo and behold, Duke Booty is not a rapper. So we're crediting this great song, which again is one of the greatest songs, and it is the greatest rap song in history. There's no question, right? Because before that they were partying, which those songs are awesome too. You need partying, but this changed rap forever. And this is Mel's claim to fame. This song, which again none of them wrote, none of them wanted, and the group broke up 6 months after it because they all didn't agree that they had a whole bunch of problems with the group. Flash didn't like the song having his name on it, even though it was a success. He didn't want it because he was like, that's not me. My name is Flash. And I'm not on the song. I didn't do nothing on the song. Nothing about this is my kind of jam. I'm out of here. So the group broke up in 6 months, right? And Melle Mel continues to have the claim of fame of being in the Hall of Fame and being this greatest MC. Yeah, he rapped, and I understand that. I'm not taking nothing from him. But he's coming at people. Listen to the people I'm naming for you. Right? And I get it. You got to have a start, but it don't stop there. Right? Melle Mel didn't push this thing forward. It hit a brick wall with Melle Mel. Right? Just be honest. I'm just being honest with you. He had White Lines. He had New York, New York. Right? These are all group songs. I'm talking, where's Mel's influence on this whole thing? Melle Melle Mel, Grandmaster Melle Mel, which they start calling him Grandmaster Melle Mel so they can capitalize on the Grandmaster Flash name when Flash left the group. They start calling him Grandmaster Melle Mel so they can put it on records and kind of trick people to buy the record. Right? So what I'm saying is for my guy Melle Mel, who he has a verse on the Shaka Khan song, right? Wrote with that song. But Melle Mel himself has a lot to say about artists who were solo artists who literally changed this game. And he constantly tries to bring these guys down. Constantly trying to bring these guys. I want to play this little clip about Kendrick, right? Because I want you to hear for yourself. If you haven't heard it, I need you to hear this. I get it that Melle Mel's our elder statesman and things like that, but somebody got to... enough is enough, bro. Like, you're doing a lot of talking and a lot of talking down. A lot of talking down, a lot of hating. For a song, you got a verse on that was an old verse for another song. The entire song was written by a guy that wasn't even a rapper. His voice is the song, the voice we're rocking to. And you're standing up there in the Hall of Fame, and y'all didn't even invite this guy to be there. When you got accepted into the Hall of Fame, you didn't even invite Duke Booty there. He was still alive. He only died last year. Y'all stood up there and accepted that award and didn't invite the man who wrote everything about the record that everyone gives you credit for being the greatest record in the history of rap. That boggles my mind that not one rapper is on that song. That is not one of them rappers is on that song, wrote none of that except for Melle Mel. But that entire group stands up there and gets the Hall of Fame, right? It's amazing and stunning to me at the same time, but it's a beautiful art form. And this is how God works. He's going to throw you the most insane curveball. He's going to say, this is going to be this, but I'm going to put a whole bunch of caveats on it and let you deal with it and let you decide if it's worthy, right? So with that being said, we revere the message for being the very first socially conscious, the most deep, everything. It's everything. But then for this guy to get up and constantly never nothing good about nobody, right? Always, it's all negative. Never good. It's never praising anybody. Right? But I'm going to play this, just to give you a little taste of why I say our elder statesman got to be held accountable. This is divisive stuff. If he knew anything about Kendrick, he would know what he's saying sounds ridiculous. I'm going to play this, and we're going to get it in. We're going to get it in from here.
Because even when you're getting into the number one, like let's just say either Kendrick Lamar being number two. I don't know. I mean, he obviously he made some good songs, but those songs don't translate into the street part of hip hop.
Let me stop right there. Let me just stop right there, right? I don't know if he was bugging, right? I don't know if he just does not know. There is no hood in this country. First of all, before I even get into my real diatribe about this street stuff that he's trying to hit you with, there ain't no hood in this country that ain't rocking some Kendrick. Let me know when I'm bugging, right? When I'm bugging, go in the comments and flame me. What hood in this country is not bumping Kendrick? I'm curious where this magical hood place that ain't playing We Gonna Be All Right, that don't rock with Kendrick. But I'm gonna keep it moving.
That's like is like another level of hip hop. Well, I don't know what records that he made like that. I might know one or two of them.
So you speaking on Kendrick. The title says nobody wants to rap like Kendrick. He doesn't have influence like Tupac or Biggie. And then you just said I might know one or two records. Make it make sense, bruh. You don't know nothing about this man, but you sitting up here trying to say he ain't rocking in the streets. Some of these guys are talking just to hear their self-talk, bro. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I'm just going to keep it a buck.
But I don't think you hear Kendrick in the club like that.
I'll do this to you. I'll do this for you. We can go to any club, right? Any club. And I'm assuming he's talking about black clubs. So we can go to any black club. And I'm going to put on Loyalty with Kendrick and Rihanna. I'm going to put on Loyalty with Kendrick and Rihanna. And I'm going to see how this place lights up. But I'm going to continue.
Now, it might be a record that his record that I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm 90 years old, so, but it don't translate it. It don't translate into him being the #2 rapper of all time. How does that happen? It shouldn't. Because he's fairly a new rapper.
Kendrick Lamar's a new rapper. Do you hear this guy? So second of all, he's speaking of the list, right? Billboard's top 50 rappers. And Kendrick Lamar was second to Jay-Z. So what they're doing, Art of Dialogue is asking him about the 50 greatest rappers of all time, which is going to be subjective as hell, right? Now, he is on the list. I believe he's number 48, something like that. I believe I have him on here. He's like number 48 or something. They put him on the list, right? And I'm assuming that's not sitting well with him, that he's number 48 and not number 1. It's not even about the numbers of the placement of these rappers is what we're talking about. Because I believe Eminem is like 5. It's Jay, Kendrick, I think number 3 is Drake or something like that. I don't know. But the simple fact of the matter is he's upset at the placement of Kendrick being number 2. Right? Nas is 3, Tupac is 4, Eminem is 5, Biggie 6, Lil Wayne is 7, which he was saying Lil Wayne, you can't consider him a great rapper because he used too much auto-tune. Drake is 8, Snoop Dogg is 9, and Nicki Minaj is 10. Kanye West is 11. Andre 3000 is 12. It's a wacky list. We all understand that. But he's not talking about the placement of the numbers when you're saying Kendrick, people can't relate, and he's not being picked up in the streets like that. You're not talking about his placement on this list. You're talking about him as a rapper at that point. So I'm just going to dismiss all the number where he's at because he's not talking about Kendrick being number 2. He's really talking about Kendrick ain't all that is what he's trying to say. And he can't resonate with Kendrick's music. This is an old guy out of touch with what's going on. Kendrick is just literally this album that he dropped, whether you love it or not, he has shifted our artistry. You're not going to be able to just come with the same. That's why rap sales are down. And his album went through the roof. The biggest album of last year. I'm sorry to tell you that. And the people that, I don't like the album, you better get used to hearing that because what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to have to dig a little deeper for these verses. A lot of that Cat in the Hat stuff y'all used to listening to is going to be back burner stuff, 35,000 sold type of stuff. And as the next 5 years, the artists that rise to the top, that's more artistic, are going to see the bigger numbers. Like the J. Cole's and the people like that. It's just what it is. I'm sorry to tell you. And what he doesn't understand is he's out of touch because he's all over the place. He first said it's not resonating in the streets. When a few interviews ago, he said they used to the drug dealers used to laugh at the rappers, right? And the rappers' last thing on earth they wanted to do was be street. He didn't care nothing about no street. If you got up on the mic talking that street stuff, you get jumped and beat up because the real drug dealers wasn't rapping. He said that in an interview. He said rap ain't about all that hardcore drug dealing, shooting, and all that stuff. That's not what it's about. Now you're sitting there telling me Kendrick don't resonate with the streets. What does that mean? You the one that said it ain't about all that street stuff. He's the one that said that. He said, it's not about all that street stuff. If you got up there, the tough guy in the room is going to knock your head off. That's what he said. When he was talking about how Jay-Z don't have enough versatility, all that stuff that he's talking, all that hustle stuff, would have got him clapped up and beat up back in the day when they was in the tunnel and wherever else they was at. Mind you, I'm just going to keep it a buck with my own personal stories. I seen these guys live when I was young. And they came to our city in D.C. By the time they came, we had already had Run DMC. We had a whole lot of other rappers came out. It wasn't the message. It was way later than that. It was a couple years. They was performing some other stuff. And the crowd, it was a skating rink. The crowd tried to give them a chance, but they were so out of touch and so corny. They had on fingerless gloves and leathers and feathers and raccoon skin, all this stuff hanging off, and it was like they were doing these moves, and the crowd just started to laugh. They got mad and started telling us we didn't know what real hip-hop was, and then the crowd commenced to booing them and almost started a riot in there. And this is the guy trying to tell us about everybody else's legacy, right? So what I'm saying is, when you are an elder statesman, your job is to just be supportive, bro. That's like a teacher at a teacher at a school, going through the whole school, talking about how whack each kid is to everybody else. Oh, he ain't that good, or this one ain't. He can't really hoop like that. Or that's a hater, bro. A bitter, old, angry hater. And I'll be the first to tell you, it is what it is. I know some people are not going to want to hear that. I don't really care because I'm going to say what I want to say. The simple fact that year after year, every time I hear this guy, he's talking about he's the best, he's the number one. I don't think I ever bumped a Melle Mel tape in my life. Never even heard it. When mixtapes came out, this guy was already washed. But somehow, some way, every year, he's on these videos dogging somebody. And we love it, right? It's hater season. I don't understand. What it was is they were trying to fashion themselves after the R&B of the time. And when the real hood started to really take a hold of this hip-hop thing, the way the streets was, we wasn't trying to be no R&B people. They was trying to dress like all these guys, Rick James. No, they was trying to dress like that. But in the hood, we wasn't wearing that. So when rap really got taken by the streets like it was supposed to, right? Because let's be honest, I just told you the message was created by a guy who's a songwriter. He was a musician. He wasn't a rapper. The company itself wasn't even a rap label. It became a rap label, right? But at the end of the day, this whole thing was created in the vein of what was already popular. Rap streamed out of that when we got a whole different sound and feel, more grimy and gritty, hard. They just stripped it. And you could thank a white boy named Rick Rubin for some of that, right? And a couple other guys, Ultra Magnum C's. It was a couple people came along and made it what it is. Now, Melle Mel could clean the fame. Oh yeah, I made y'all. Y'all saying MC because of me. Good job. Good job. I made the message. Good job. Right? New York, New York. They still sampling me. Good job. But that don't give you right to run through this game and keep hating on people. I know a lot of other people scared to say something and I don't care. So all of this we got to walk on eggshells and tiptoe because it's Melle Mel, right? Always knocking somebody's contributions. Always belittling somebody, what they got going on. Nothing ever good to say. So I'll be the first one, because I know there's 0 videos out there critical of Melle Mel's opinion, but I'll be the first one. I don't care, bro. I think it's trash that a gentleman this age is still coming down on artists who've done way more than him. Let's be honest. Let's just keep it a buck. If you was that good, it would be a lot more records with Melle Mel name on them that don't suck. Right? So at the end of the day, I know a lot of people want to say, oh, it's just his opinion. And a lot of people agree with him. All this stuff does is get the algorithm. If you don't like Eminem, the algorithm going to feed you this stuff so you can go under the, he's right. If you don't like Jay-Z, the algorithm going to feed you this so you can go and say, he's right. This don't make it fact, bro. It just means they're pulling in the people that don't like that person to go in those comments. That's literally all it's doing. If you go in there right now, you see most of the people that's in there go, he's right. Because they already feel away. Whatever the topic is, if you make another video with the exact opposite conversation, the algorithm is going to pull the people that want to hear that, and they're going to be like, he's right. So it's not that he's right. It's that he's drawing in the people that want to hear that, right? But the simple fact of the matter is, overall, there are going to be a lot of people who say Lil Wayne is a top 20, 15, 10 MC, top 5 MC. Auto-tune or not. More people are going to say he's great than they're saying he's not great, right? More people are going to say that Jay-Z is great than they say that he's not great. And more people are going to say Kendrick is great. They're not going to say crazy stuff like he's a new rapper that can't resonate to the streets and he don't have no club hits. It sounds ridiculous, right? When you say it out loud, it sounds absolutely insane to me. But yet somehow we keep listening to Melle Mel. In my opinion, it is an uninformed opinion. He keeps trying to pit Jay-Z against Tupac. It's never nobody else. It's always everybody he's talking about. Well, they don't got it like Tupac. Well, did they do it like Tupac? Well, he did it like Tupac. Well, the only reason he's saying it because he said Tupac was trying to get him a record deal before he died. He said Tupac was the only rapper that was trying to rock with him. Go look for yourself. He said that before Tupac died, he told him he was going to get him back on. So you have to understand where all this Tupac this and Tupac that is coming from. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Melle Mel a hater or am I bugging? Am I the hater? I in no way endorse disrespecting your elders or these elder statements, but somebody got to say something when it's this ridiculous. And that'll be me. CLBMG. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Peace.
CLB.